men's soccer locker room inside Collins Center. Chris Smith alongside Alex Dingman will get started off talking about soccer. They've had an interesting week on both the men's and the women's side. Men seemingly finding more momentum going into the playoffs right now, while the women are on a bit of a down stretch. They lose their game 2-1 to Avila after going up on an early lead in Kansas City. Really disappointing stretch of results here for the women. Now, if they don't beat Graceland tonight, they will not make the playoffs.
Yeah, and obviously we'll know by the time this runs whether or not they're going to be in position for the playoffs. We wish them the best of luck. Obviously, that Avila loss really hurting them, but we know the kind of potential that they have, and that they are a quality club. I mean, just because the kind of recent downfall they've had here doesn't mean that they're not still a good team. We saw what they were doing there at the middle of the year, so hopefully they're able to piece together, because I think they could definitely do something in the later in the year. Oh,
absolutely. They could definitely have potential to make a big-time playoff run if they beat Graceland, who is currently undefeated in the HAC and sitting up top at the first. But Graceland's been having a lot of 1-0, 2-1 results, just kind of been dragging out wins. So it's certainly a win is a possibility tonight up in Lamona, Iowa for the women's team. On the men's side, Baker beat Avila 5-0 last Saturday in Kansas City. Yeah, Matt Germain coming back from his injury and scored a nice goal. Only negative really from the game is Jacob Shirelli got a red card, so Jake will be suspended for the Tuesday game tonight at Graceland. And so that could potentially hurt, but that's a big-time playoff implication game for tonight in Iowa. If the men's soccer team beat Graceland, they will nab at least that #2 spot in the conference and receive bye in the first round and home field advantage up until the championship game if Mid-America makes it that far. If Mid-America does not make it for that far, then Baker has the potential to host the conference championship right here at Liston Stadium. So that would be a treat. Congratulations to both the men's and women's team on a good season so far.
Yeah, and the men hopefully going to get a shot at Simon Fraser possibly here in the national tournament. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but obviously all begins with Graceland, what they do after that. But definitely a very strong team right now, and see if they can keep it going. Maybe just a few less red cards would be helpful.
Yep, that might do it. Let's move on to the Baker football team now. Huge result, 26-22 over #9 ranked nationally, Mo Valley. We put them on upset alert. We put Mo Valley on upset alert last show, and Baker came through for us. Were you surprised with the result, Dan?
Not really. I mean, sure it was an upset because it was a 24-7. Yet you go out there to look at the two teams, and Baker being at home. I mean, I think Baker had everything going for him in that one, and the way that they've been playing, they've now won 6 games in a row, just moving down the rankings. Somehow, at this point, they're still 15 with Mo Valley at 14. Lindenwood down there, you know, it's I believe 9 or something like that. 7, I think, actually now, and then Mid-America there at 5. So you got 4 teams from the HAC there in the top 15. Baker somehow being the one down there at the latter part of that ranking. But see what they do against Mid-America this Saturday. That's going to be the huge contest. But let's talk a little bit more about this Mo Valley team and, you know, some kind of the keys to this game. I mean, obviously, that passing attack is definitely important.
You had a couple keys to the game, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go check it out. Key to the game, quite obviously, the Matt Brown and Tyrell Spain connection, the dynamic duo, the Graham Harrell to Michael Crabtree. We saw it all on Saturday. Basically, it looked like this.
Yeah, okay, so here you go. Number 7. It's Matt Brown right there. Tyrell Spain, okay? Number 8. Basically, it's a real difficult play. Here it is. Spain goes. Here's the end zone. He runs into it, okay? And then Matt Brown decides to throw him the ball 3 times in this game for touchdowns. That's Brown, Spain for 6 over and over and over. The most important one being at the end of the game with 8 seconds left.
Interesting play call. Coach Groster made a double play call. The first time they failed going to the end zone, defensive back made a nice play, tipping it over. Matt realized, let's call it again. They're giving Tyrell single coverage. Let me see the pen.
There you go.
You threw it? Tyrell Spain. 6'3", defensive back. 5'10".
Not as tall.
5'10". He jumps, catches the ball.
This guy's way better, too. So that works. I mean, why wouldn't you double cover him?
We don't know.
Not sure why you would do that. However, worked out in Baker's favor. So
26-22, Baker wins.
I mean, he had 7 catches this game as well, over 100 yards. Those 3 touchdowns, his most solid game as a Baker Wildcat.
Absolutely.
And you know, a win 26-22, number 24 over the number 7. And so now Baker's making things happen. Going to knock off Mid-America as well. And maybe a little bit more, maybe 3 more touchdowns.
Grocer likes the matchup on Saturday. He likes our playmakers to the outside, and we've got a darn good quarterback in Mac Brown. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to take the conference.
Yeah, we're going to need a little bit more of a rushing attack. Missouri Valley. One where Richie Bryant's ankle was a little banged up, and had Blaine Crow start things out. There in the first half, just 17 total rushing yards on 15 attempts for the Wildcats, and then Bryant finishing with just 48 yards on the ground. His first conference game less than 100 yards, but still a victory for the Wildcats, so showing that they can be diverse with that offense. However, against a strong team like Mid-America, when you look more in the national picture, they're going to have to counter that passing game with the rushing game like they were previously.
Another thing we should point out about Rich, though, he was absolutely integral on the drive, coming down the game-winning drive. 3 receptions, 49 yards, pushed them. Keep in mind, they started this drive all the way at the 10-yard line, drove 90 yards in just 91 seconds to win the game. And Richie Bryant helped out an awful lot in that. So if he's healthy and they can get that run-pass balance, look for a victory again for the Baker Wildcats against Mid-America on Saturday.
Yeah, let's not forget about some of those guys on defense. Vincent Curran had a big game.
13 tackles.
Colton Miller hurt his shoulder pretty severely, had to come off, ice it, and went right back in there and was integral there late in that game. And also Herb Askew. I think people forget about the huge tackle he had there on Missouri Valley's second last possession. Saved a potential touchdown on a screen pass there on 3rd down. Instead, he makes that tackle 2 yards short of that 1st down. They're forced to punt, and then the rest is history as the Wildcats marched on the field and do what a good team should do in that game. No turnovers, and then when you're given a point, you got less than 2 minutes, you need to score, they go down there.
Run the ball side.
Right there in the inside.
2-minute drill. That's why they practice it.
Doing big things right now. See if they can take out the Pioneers. But everything's looking good.
Yeah.
Feeling good about it. How about also some more football?
Baldwin High. Tough loss against Eudora, 35-28 last week in their final game of district play, going as the number 2 seed into the state tournament. How do you like their matchup this week?
They're playing a Bishop EH team, a team that has played some similar opponents. They just knocked off DeSoto in their last game to win the district. I believe they won that game by about 4, but they did allow something like 3 touchdowns against DeSoto. Baldwin High did shut out DeSoto earlier this season, 14-0, and DeSoto was only on Baldwin High's side of the 50-yard line, I believe, twice in that game. Right. So we'll see if possibly Bishop EH's defense is not going to be strong enough for Baldwin High's amazing offensive line there, but Bulldogs did show that they're susceptible to the run a little bit. In that game against Eudora, Fisher, 433 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. I know everybody at Baldwin already knows this, so I don't really need to repeat it again. But that running game is something that Baldwin High's going to have to look for against EH, but it should be a very even game and one that Baldwin High definitely has a chance to win, so we'll see if they can knock them off, and we will know by Wednesday because they're going to play tonight.
All right, certainly, and like you said, since we're on Wednesday, I also want to encourage everybody to go out to the volleyball match Wednesday night. Big-time playoff implications. If they win, volleyball team goes in ranked 3rd in the conference in the playoffs and will not have to travel to Lindenwood for that HAC tournament, at least in the beginning anyway. So go out and cheer on the volleyball team. That's it for sports today. Chris Smith, Alex Dingman, let's send it back to the studio.
Good luck, Cats.
Thanks for that, Alex and Chris. Congratulations to the men's football team.
That concludes this week's show of Orangeline. I'm Jessie Manthai.
And I'm Justin Hauser.
Thanks for tuning in.